Karma should have run the second their eyes locked, when he could not deny his intentions. She didn't realize how little she thought of herself until this moment. Hello, my name is Nina G. Welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of Karma's story about feeling behind in life and trying to find your way to purpose. If you haven't listened to part 1, please stop and go listen now. You'll find the link in the description box. Enjoy! Underneath the intense heat from the sun, Karma 23 stood motionless, her mind stuck in that in-between space where logic and emotions collide. The trio standing in front of her were bad news. Going with them would surely lead to trouble. She knew it without a doubt, because before going to prison, she was like them, stealing and not caring who got hurt. But that life was behind her now. That is, if it would let her go. Dee stepped up to Karma, invading her space. "You coming, right?" Her loud tone, though directed at Karma, was meant for Reggie's ears. A nervousness sprouted in her eyes. She then whispered, "Why are you tripping and acting all scared?" "You think I'm stupid. You said he was legit. Tell me the truth, 'cause I'm not selling my body." Dee smacked her lips. "All right, but it ain't like that. Reggie knows where all these rich lames hang out. You only got to get them drunk and up to the hotel room. Boo will take care of the rest." Karma shifted her weight from one leg to the other as tension spread through her body. "I don't know. I'm not going back to prison." "Don't act like you don't need money. You said yourself you ain't got nowhere to go. Just come on, hit a few licks, and you'll be straight. Plus, I already promised them you were down. Don't make me look bad in front of my man." Dee claimed it was easy work, but Karma knew better than to believe that lie. The devil could never mask his essence, but he was offering her something that she was desperate for: money and shelter. "Final boarding for bus 7A, blared through the loudspeakers, loud enough to get Karma's attention. She turned her head towards the bus, and standing there in front of it was Priscilla. This was the first time she had seen her since they parted ways outside of the station door. The disappointed look on her face reminded Karma of her grandmother. It was that same look that Grandma Ruby would give her when she was about to do something stupid. Before she knew it, Karma was backing away from Dee and her thugs, almost stumbling over her feet, turning into a full sprint across the parking lot. Dee's yells reached her ears, but Karma refused to look back, stopping only when face to face with Priscilla, who only nodded her approval. Once settled on the bus, relief swept over Karma. Thanks to Priscilla, she was safe, and though she didn't know where she was going, she was determined to make something good out of her life. When the bus arrived at its destination, the sun had gone down. Karma helped Priscilla off the bus and over to the car that was waiting for her. Before getting inside the car, Priscilla squeezed Karma's hand. "You know I would take you with me if I weren't going to the halfway house." "It's okay, I'll figure it out," Karma assured Priscilla before giving her a final goodbye. After the car pulled off, Karma watched the other passengers disappear into the night. Silence wrapped around her as the streetlight buzzed. It was almost peaceful, except for the question in her head: where to? Her hands rubbed against her arms to knock off the sudden chill, desiring the warmth that a jacket would bring. Karma looked up one street, then back down in the opposite direction as she contemplated which way to go. Even though her situation was desperate, She knew she had made the right decision. It was then that she remembered the pamphlet in her pocket, given to her by one of the church volunteers. There was a shelter in town. Hopefully, it wasn't too late to get a bed. Just as she was about to walk, a car pulled up to the curb in front of her. The window came down, and the sweetest sound invaded her ears. Karma? Praise God. That's her. That's my baby. Grandma Ruby sat in the passenger seat of a silver Chevy Malibu. Grandma? Karma asked, not believing her eyes. Tears rolled down her face. She had come. Grandma Ruby had not abandoned her after all. Karma felt foolish for ever doubting the woman that raised her. Oh, I'm so happy we found you. I'm Sister Margaret. A middle-aged woman rounded the car from the driver's side, grabbing Karma in a hug. I go to church with your grandmother and have been helping her out. The hospital discharged her a couple of hours ago, but she refused to go home. The only thing she cared about was coming to get you. There was no time to make it to the prison, so we came here hoping that you had taken the bus. It was a long shot, but look at God. Karma rushed to the car window, taking in her grandmother's slender face. It was the first time hearing about her being ill, which was probably why all communication had stopped. Oh my gosh, Grandma, are you okay? Grandma Ruby reached out of the window, placing her hand on top of Karma's, still wearing her hospital bracelet. I'm fine now that I'm looking at your beautiful face. Now, get into this car before you catch a cold, out here with them tight clothes on and no jacket. Her voice was weak, but that did not stop her from fussing. Yes, ma'am. Karma bit down, kissing her grandma on the forehead. I love you, Grandma. You do not know how happy I am to see you. I love you too, baby. Karma closed the email app on her phone and exhaled loudly after receiving the latest rejection letter. She was sitting in the lobby of a doctor's office waiting for her grandmother. She had been home for a month and so far had no luck getting a job that she desperately needed. The process of starting over was depressing. Every day, she felt her hope diminish. I knew it was you. You were one of those girls who stole that car and hit that old man a few years back. You know you could have killed him. I see they let riffraff out of jail without serving hardly any time. A woman sitting a few chairs down wagged her finger in Karma's direction. Humiliated, Karma leaned back, but with nowhere to go, trapped between a wall and stares from the people in the waiting room. This was her first time being out of the house since being back home, and it didn't take long for someone to recognize her in town. Karma had noticed her staring, sensing her judgment, but ignored it. Her mistakes she had made in the past were following her, a past that she desperately wanted to put behind her. And she has served her time and has moved on. Grandma Ruby stood in the hallway leaning on her cane with fire in her eyes. She marched towards the door. Let's go. She looked at Karma, who jumped up, relieved to escape. Once outside the doctor's office, Grandma Ruby stopped. We accept that some people do not have forgiveness in their hearts, but you can't let that stop you or discourage you. Keep your chin up and continue moving forward and know that I'm proud of you. But why? It's not like I've done something to be proud of. Karma felt herself sink lower into the hole that she could not get out of. Child, I'm proud because I see the change in you. I see how you look for them jobs every day, even though you keep getting rejected. I am proud of you because you are good. Karma digested her grandmother's words, but they didn't stick. Too much damage had been done, and each day that passed became a reminder that maybe change wasn't possible for everyone. Grandma, why aren't you dressed? Karma cautiously approached her grandmother, who was sitting on the edge of her bed with her face in her hands. She had never seen her grandmother cry before. Grandma Ruby had always been strong, the backbone of their small family. I never said you were welcome in my room. The tremble in her voice was not from age, but from distress. But why aren't you getting ready for the banquet? Since Karma was little, her grandmother always attended the annual affair. It was always something she looked forward to. Because I'm not going. Why? You love it. You go every year. Grandma Ruby kept her head down as she spoke. You know, aging is cruel to us all. I accepted it long ago, but I still have some pride and dignity. Between getting sick and them trying to make me well, you might as well put me in the grave because I look like that's where I belong. And I will not march myself into that hall for everyone to whisper and point about how sickly I look. I have eyes. I can see. Karma's heart sank, never recalling a time in her life that her grandmother ever spoke with such defeat. Ruby Davis was the definition of perseverance. There was never a battle that she was unwilling to fight. But the illness had taken a toll. She was thin and frail. Her skin was blotchy. Her once full head of hair was now sparse. What if I helped you? Make up your face, and I'm sure I can find something in your closet that would look good on you. When Grandma Ruby did not respond, Karma said, Now you know, if you don't show up, all them little old ladies that you are trying to avoid are going to come straight here to see about you. Grandma Ruby jerked her head up, obviously considering Karma's words. Okay, I'll do it, but with two conditions. You don't make me look like one of them fast women, and you come with me. Karma grimaced. Like her grandmother, the last thing she wanted to do was go somewhere and be judged, sure that everyone there would know that Ruby Davis's granddaughter did time for robbery. She could see those old women clutching their purses and whispering. She fixed her lips to say no way until she saw the glimmer in her grandmother's eyes. Fine, I'll go, but you can't say a word when I do your makeup. After settling on a pretty peach dress and making a quick run to the store for some makeup, Karma went to work. Don't make me look like a clown face, Grandma Ruby warned. Just trust me. After placing a hat on Grandma Ruby's head, Karma walked her over to the full closet mirror. What do you think? When Grandma Ruby saw herself in the mirror, her mouth fell open as she stared in awe. Oh my word, Karma, look at... I don't know what to say. She placed her hands on her hips and turned to the side, posing in the mirror. Seeing her grandmother so happy and beautiful made Karma proud. At the banquet, Grandma Ruby went inside the hall while Karma stayed out in the lobby, determined to avoid another scene like the one in the doctor's office. 2 hours later, Grandma Ruby approached with a few women at her side. Here she is. This is my granddaughter Karma. She's the one that got this old bird together, did my hair, my makeup, and picked out this outfit. Grandma Ruby beamed while the women fawned over how youthful she looked, complimenting Karma for doing such beautiful work. Shortly after arriving home, Grandma Ruby called Karma into her room. She was holding the phone to her ear. Karma, this is Eileen Silver. She was at the banquet this afternoon. She and her husband are celebrating their 43rd wedding anniversary on Saturday and want you to do her makeup. Eileen, I'm going to put you on speaker so she can hear you. Eileen's voice came through the speaker. Honey, I just love what you did with your grandmother. You did a fantastic job. How much do you charge? Karma frowned. Oh, I don't do makeup professionally. Grandma Ruby snatched the phone, bringing it closer to her mouth. Oh, she is just being shy. Don't pay her any mind. Of course she will do it. Her fee is $100. Karma's eyes ballooned, knowing that Grandma Ruby had lost her mind. Oh, wonderful. I need you at 2 p.m. next Saturday. Ruby knows where I live. Karma felt unworthy and uncomfortable with the position that her grandmother had placed her in. Sure, she was confident in doing her own makeup and her grandmother's, but doing it for a stranger was entirely different. Despite her objections, Karma ended up doing Eileen's makeup, and from there, word spread like wildfire. Karma began receiving requests to do makeup all over town. Soon, she was fully booked for weeks, which helped with money, since she still didn't have a job. Eventually, her nervousness subsided and her confidence grew. Helping the women transform lit a spark inside her. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was doing something good. When Karma stepped inside the gray and white two-story house, she knew this job was going to be different. Balloons covered the ceiling, and there was food and music playing. It looked like a party because of the number of people gathered there. After introductions, Karma was led upstairs to a door decorated with colorful cutouts that spelled Leah. Inside the room was a 16-year-old girl sitting on the bed, bobbing her head to music playing on her headphones. Leah looked like a typical carefree teenager, except she didn't have any hair. When she noticed Karma standing in the doorway, she pulled off her headphones and pursed her lips. I'm sorry my parents wasted your time, but I'm not going to the prom. Her voice was soft. She spoke in a way that was calm, not defiant at all. Did you tell that to your parents? Because I'm pretty sure that they think you're going. Yes, I told them 5 times, and you see they don't listen. Well, what's the problem? You have your dress. Karma pointed to the green full-length sleeveless gown hanging on the closet door. And there's at least 50 people downstairs waiting to see you off. So what changed? Why don't you want to go? Karma placed her makeup case on the dresser and sat down in a chair. Leah picked at the invisible lint on her bedspread before giving Karma eye contact. I'm not rocking a bald head by choice. I have leukemia and lost my hair last year. And I wear wigs, you know. It makes it easier to deal with things at school. But my most recent treatment is causing a reaction, and my skin has gotten really sensitive. It's like almost everything irritates me, including my wigs. I just don't want to be that girl with the bald head at the prom. It'll look ugly, but you wouldn't know. You're pretty with long hair. Karma rolled the chair closer to Leah, her heart filled with compassion. In the short time that she had been doing makeup, she was understanding more and more that it was not about making someone look pretty, but making them feel pretty inside. Looks aren't everything. People say I'm pretty, but if I'm going to be real with you, I never felt good enough. You see how both your parents are downstairs because they love and adore you? I don't have that. My parents don't care about me. I haven't seen my mother since I was 5, and my father never had time for me. Too busy playing stepdaddy, I guess. And being pretty is overrated because it has never been enough to keep the most important people around. Not even guys. Yeah, I get attention, but not the kind that I want. Not love. She gently grabbed Leah's hands, prompting her to make eye contact. Look, I'm not comparing my situation to yours. I don't know what it feels like to be in your shoes, but what I see is all those people downstairs who are cheering you on, who love you. Something I had never experienced before except with my grandmother. I would give my right arm for people to show up and support me like that. And besides, you are gorgeous. With your beautiful face, no one is going to care whether you have hair or not. And you must not have seen how women are shaving their heads and rocking balds. Let me show you. Karma pulled up social media, showing Leah photos of glamorous women all dolled up with shaved heads. Leah looked at the photos in awe. Wow, they look amazing. And you will too if you put your trust in me. Leah paused in thought for a minute, then burst out in a huge smile. Okay, I trust you. About an hour later, Karma escorted Leah downstairs, who was all dressed up. The crowd immediately erupted in praise, swarming Leah, who beamed with joy. Karma used hypoallergenic makeup, giving Leah a youthful look, including drawing stars near her eyes and on both sides of her head. She looked like a model that belonged on a runway. Doing makeup was not just a side hustle, but a calling. Karma had thought her failure defined her until today, but for the first time in her life, Karma had a purpose. It was after this experience that Karma knew what she wanted to do with her life. God had traded beauty for ashes, and she now understood that her past struggles, insecurities, and mistakes helped her relate to the women and girls that she made up, helping them to see the value in themselves. Looking back, she wouldn't change a thing because those experiences helped to mold her into the woman that she always wanted to be. If this story spoke to you, you're not alone. Subscribe for a new uplifting story every week.